What's up guys, Shadetree Surgeon back again with another talking head vlog. You know, even though I miss the fuck out of riding my motorcycles and that whole walking thing, and man, I really do miss that shit. Like, really.
Hello darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Yeah. Even though I'm missing the hell out of that stuff, I'm actually having a really awesome time making these talking head vids for you guys. And the fact that you guys are showing so much love and support, even though the channel that you subscribed to was motorcycle centric, it just really means the world to me. I really can't thank you enough. And to the hundreds of people who've unsubscribed since I broke my foot and started doing these videos, get fucked, cocksuckers, and don't let the door hit you on the way out. But it does start to get to me just a little bit. So this week I thought I'd tackle a subject that almost everyone can agree on. A group of people that's easier to hate on than bronies, weeaboos, and Justin Bieber fans combined. Yes, I'm talking about everybody's most favorite self-righteous punching bags. Vegans. And I'm sure you're already saying, come on Shadetree, vegans, really? Really? It's just too easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Where's the challenge? I mean, vegans are such social pariahs that even vegetarians are like, yeah, don't lump me in with those assholes, okay? I mean, come on, I eat eggs and dairy. I'm cool with that. I don't even know those guys. Fucking faggots. Making fun of vegans isn't even beating a dead horse at this point. Beating a dead horse. Dead horse. It's reducing a dead horse to fucking subatomic particles. It's banging the dead horse's wife on the dead horse's freshly dug grave. It's getting in a time machine and going back in history and systematically murdering every single one of the dead horse's ancestors. Going back further and further until horses never existed in the first place. The point is, it's been done. I wouldn't really be treading any new waters here. But it may come as a surprise to you that I actually think veganism is a fairly noble pursuit. Being a vegan is not easy, and if someone has decided that they are not okay with animals dying for their own personal sustenance, and they actually possess the mental and physical fortitude to completely change their diet and lifestyle to reflect that philosophy, hey, I respect that. It's not an easy journey, and I've always got a healthy amount of respect for somebody who really walks the walk and doesn't just blow hot air. Unfortunately, as with most personal philosophies, you get a certain group of people within there who are just completely incapable of going on a intimate journey of personal discovery without trying to ram every single one of their revelations down everybody's throat afterwards. These are the type of people who have their head shoved so far up their own asshole that they really truly start to believe that whatever works for them personally, well, god damn it, that ought to be how the whole world works. So, you take one self-obsessed, self-righteous waste of meat, tack on a pretty developed messiah complex, and all of a sudden you get vegans like this.
If you're a shark or a vulture watching this video, veganism isn't for you. But if you're a human watching this video, veganism is for you. So if being vegan is a personal choice, not murdering another person must also be a personal choice. Stand the fuck up for them or sit the fuck down. Now kids, this is what we call speciesism. It's the exact same thing as racism, sexism, and homophobia. Which means that you have no room to say that you are better than a cow or a chicken or a pig or a dog. Did you know that Hitler modeled the Jewish Holocaust after the meat industry? I think that Jews, blacks, women, gays, and anyone who experiences discrimination should be able to relate to what non-human animals have to go through. So if you're not vegan, you can't be against discrimination. You're supporting the Holocaust. How cool is that? That's pretty cool. No, it's not.
Yeah, I know. Take a minute to clean up the vomit and brush your teeth. I'll wait. So do you guys remember in my Black Lives Matter rant how I said I really understand how easy it is to get really angry when somebody starts throwing around the term white privilege? Well, trust me, they ain't talking about you or me when they say it, okay? They definitely have this bitch in mind. The Wikipedia article on white privilege ought to just be a link to this bimbo's YouTube channel. It'd really make the whole concept way easier for everybody to understand. But honestly, the argument that veganism is really only a choice that the privileged get to make is so easy to the point of being laughable. And you wouldn't even have to travel outside of the United States to prove it. I mean, there are over 15 million children alone in the United States that oftentimes go to bed hungry. I'd really like to see you go down to some single mom shotgun shack in the Louisiana ghetto and tell her she can't feed her son some chicken tenders on account of it's racist. You let me know how that works out for you. I'm sorry, but in the world that we live in, the choice to be vegan is a fucking luxury, no matter how much you really don't want it to be. So who the hell are you actually trying to convince to turn to veganism? All the other bored middle-class girls in the suburbs with liberal arts degrees? Who's your target market? How about trying to get people up to the point where they could actually afford to be vegan? It's just another case of putting the cart before the horse. If you're really so concerned about making this world a better place, then go volunteer at a food bank for the needy or a homeless shelter. Go to your local church and participate in a community outreach program. As crazy as it sounds, you can do all of these things while still also being a vegan. Amazing. Or you can just keep on comparing eating meat to the Holocaust on YouTube.
Go vegan and don't support a Holocaust. Maybe that's a fucking good idea.
Love and hugs from the Holocaust.
I mean, keep it up. I really think you're starting to help some people with that message. But I digress. Let's move on to my own personal stance on veganism. My position is most assuredly not anti-vegan, and it's not really pro-meat either. It's just kind of more of a realistic view of evolution and the symbiotic relationship between human beings and domesticated animals. My views really go in direct contrast with the common abolitionist vegan argument that since animals are essentially non-human sentient individuals, that any use of them by us against their will is therefore really no different than human slavery.
Saying eating a cow and drinking their milk is the same exact thing as saying owning black slaves and hanging them.
Just fucking please stop using this argument. In a world where slavery still very much exists, it's a fucking travesty to compare a dairy farm to the trafficking of preteen girls for sex trade. But of course, hardcore vegans will still just desperately cling to this argument like some sort of tofu life preserver because it's technically true. If you argue it from a completely hypothetical, moralistic standpoint, then yes, animal husbandry is essentially no different than any other form of slavery, human or otherwise. It's technically true. Lots of things are technically true.
And now, Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
If everyone would just stop hurting each other, there'd be no more violence in the world. If you've ever hurt somebody, you're against world peace. Every time you throw away food, you're depriving a hungry child a meal. If you don't eat your leftovers, you support child murder. Every time you drive your car, you're polluting the air that we all have to breathe. So if you drive your car to work, you're like racist against the earth, man.
You see, these are the kind of arguments you get when everybody gets a medal just for showing up.
So if you're against discrimination, if you're against racism or sexism or homophobia, I suggest you go vegan. You're not against discrimination. Just discrimination against humans who have different sexuality. You're not for equality, you're just for equality when it comes to certain groups of people.
When I look at domesticated animals, whether we raise them for food or companionship or otherwise, I only see evolution at work. Our relationship with cows, pigs, chickens, and dogs is nature at its finest. It's evolution winning, and winning hard. Over the course of history, any animals that have altered their evolution to either support or be supported by an apex predator have always destroyed the competition. You see this concept repeating itself all over nature. From ants and aphids all the way to sharks and remoras, plankton, and pretty much the entirety of life on planet Earth. When it comes to humans, dogs are definitely the most shining, feel-good example of this. Yep, back in the day, old Fido discovered real quick that if he hung around humans, not only could he eat way better, but he could make way more babies. That evolutionary tactic means that there's only about 200,000 wolves living worldwide, but there are over 500 million domesticated dogs on this planet. There's a clear winner here, and they won by adapting to life with humans. The same goes for animals that have adapted to life as our food. Cows, for example. In the United States, there's only about 500,000 American bison left alive. For comparison, there are over 1.5 billion domesticated cattle on this planet. Chickens? Don't get me started on chickens. Not only have chickens flourished for so long on this earth that they're the closest living relative we have to the Tyrannosaurus Rex, but there are over 50 fucking billion chickens born and raised every year. Chickens are fucking crushing it, man. Chickens are the goddamn Michael Phelps of birds. And trust me, I understand that even die-hard carnivores are probably calling me crazy right now. How could I possibly say that chickens are doing well as a species? Everybody's pretty much aware of the horrendous conditions that chickens live and die in every day being raised for our food. It can truly be a horrific sight. But Mother Nature does not care about that. If evolution was concerned in the slightest with a very human concept of quality of life and happiness, then chickens would have evolved to become poisonous or otherwise inedible to humans a long time ago. Trust me, plenty of animals have evolved in some pretty insane ways because they really don't want to be eaten. It is possible. But instead, they have evolved into a creature that is nutritious, tastes good, and is incredibly well suited to captivity. And because of this, chickens by a long shot are the most populous bird on planet Earth. Chickens have won. And they won because Mother Nature measures success by a very different yardstick than you or I. Mother Nature is cold, cruel, and calculating. Mother Nature makes purpose-built machines that are designed to do 4 things: eat, fuck, fight, and make babies. Lots and lots of babies. Domesticated dogs, chickens, cows, and pigs are the pinnacle of evolution. The survivors. The ones that were able to change themselves enough to adapt and flourish in a world dominated by human beings. So what, do I then think that this somehow makes it morally okay to treat animals the way we do? It doesn't matter what I think. Mother Nature breeds survival and propagation at all costs and has absolutely no concern for my human morality. Abolitionist vegans would argue that since we do in fact possess morality, we are obligated to put an end to the domestication of animals. And we do. And any individual that chooses to remove themselves from the consumption of flesh has my full support. But the minute you start thinking that you need to convince the entire free world to turn tens of thousands of years of evolution on its ear, just because the concept of eating an animal for our sustenance makes you personally uncomfortable, well, that's gotta be vanity in one of its highest forms. Like I said, Messiah complex. Now I think a much better use of our morality would be returning to a true nose-to-tail use of animals. There's few greater sins than the waste of any part of a life given to nourish us. And as far as slaughtering them for food, I feel like every child should know what it's like to slaughter and butcher an animal for food. They should know what it looks like. They should know what it feels like to take a living, breathing creature with fur and hooves and a face and turn it into something that you'd see in a grocery store. I grew up hunting, and I will tell you, it instilled an amazing amount of respect in me for where our food actually comes from. And if someone chooses to lead a life of veganism, they have my full support. It's a noble pursuit, and it's absolutely worthy of respect. And personally, I find the ridicule of vegans to be in rather poor taste. You wouldn't applaud somebody who waves around the keys to their Mercedes in the face of a monk who's chose a simple life with no possessions. So why is it socially acceptable to wave a cheeseburger in the face of somebody who's chosen the life of a vegan? And this right here is where Sorcia's YouTube channel comes in and has actually done so much more to harm veganism than it has ever done to promote it. How can she claim to be a champion of this cause when all it takes is a quick look at her video ratings and comment sections to realize that she's done exponentially more to inspire people to hate vegans than actually inspire someone to choose a life of veganism? When she's doing this much harm, when she's creating this large of an environment for the ridicule of vegans, why does she do it? Why is she even making these videos? What does she really actually hope to accomplish with them?
It's totally okay. I don't understand why people don't like yoga pants. Like, why don't people like them? They're so nice and they're so comfortable. But seriously, you guys, don't wear yoga pants unless you want to be a slut. Like, yoga pants are so slutty. It's so slutty to wear pants that actually fit.
Oh, yeah, that. YouTube revenue!
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when we're together. Brighter than a lucky penny when you're near the rain goes, disappears, dear, and I feel so fine just to know that you are mine.